So today's the day that we start making a few changes here in this new flower bed. We still say it's new. It's new to us. We started this, what, last year? So
Yes,
this flower bed has been here a year. We've already removed the rosemary, which means that I'm able to stand right where it used to live. And today we're tackling a few more things. We actually found some plants on sale. One of those great after summer sales at a supermarket. Didn't you get these at the supermarket of all places?
We did, and it's a great, just a great way to save plants.
Exactly, and it was, you can see that we've really cut it down. These sneezeweeds, they were, my goodness, it looked dead when you brought it home.
It didn't look like the picture, that's for sure. It was really, really dead, so. But the thing is, what I did, of course I always check if it's an annual or if it's a perennial, if it's winter hardy, because it's not much saving. If it's a summer flower, you might get, a good month or so because it's end of the season. But what I did, it had flowers, so I actually cut it pretty much down and was kind of just brown, like a little bit like these leaves. And when I took them home, I put them in a bucket with water for a day, and then all of a sudden the next day the foliage was already much better. But the big difference was that I had pruned it really hard, because you want the plant here to focus on establishing roots instead of having that withered flower. Anyway, you won't do any good of that. So really prune that back. And then it's going to be this one, the Sneezeweed or solbrud, like we call it here, Helenium. Likes full sun to half shade, and it's going to be around this one 50 centimeters tall. And the thing is, we have a still bin here that doesn't really work here, so we actually want to get pretty tall and doesn't really work. And I'm actually going to replace that with these two together here. So that's what we're going to do, the first step.
And this is
today.
still, the reason why it's not doing so well, this gets, you can't really tell today, it's a little overcast, but when we have these long summer days, when summer was here, the sun rises on that side and then it travels, and we are getting hours and hours and hours of sunlight right here in this flower bed. So the poor stilbe, which prefers a shadier spot, just hasn't done so well.
And actually it prefers also a bit more wet soil. And this is, in the bottom here, it was actually in the old days there was like cobblestones here, very, very sandy. So it dries out really quickly. So it's actually not a good spot for it. But the great thing about a stilbe and perennials in general, you can dig it up and place it somewhere else if it got too tall, or sometimes you get it wrong with where the sun is, or like here the soil. So this one is gonna go. I'm gonna put it in a pot here.
Because speaking of giving it or digging it up and moving, you can go ahead and get started.
Okay.
Okay. We have a wonderful neighbor that has since moved from our street. We're really quite sad that she's moved, but not so far. She's just right outside of the ramparts. And this guy will now go live in her garden. So we're very excited. She came over the other day, said she would love to have it. So he will get a new home, and we will get these two new plants planted in. Also, these after season sales or end of season, what did you pay for these? 15 kroner each?
No, 5.
5 kroner. That's
down from 40.
That's less than $1 US, because my goodness, they look dead. I think anybody else would have just walked past them. So if you find something that has a little bit of green, now's the time to get them and plant them in.
Yeah, and so while you were chatting, I already got it up. Didn't have long roots because it was just established from last year actually. And you can see it hasn't really rained a lot the last many weeks, so it's pretty dry. Give it a good shake. And I already early on pruned it down a little bit. So what I could do now, it's gonna go to my good friend Jeanette, and you could even prune it more back because it's gonna wilt back anyway, and it's the end of the season. But put it in a pot here. If it's not gonna go, I think I can go tomorrow and visit on the bike. But I add some water and then I can bring it. If also in general, if you have a plant perennial gonna move, typically do it right away and dig a hole and then add some water and then place it in. But if you can, put it in a plastic bag with some water until the very next day, or you can also even, if you are moving, add it in a little pot with soil and keep it there over the next few weeks if you can't plant it right away. So that's a good way with that one. It's pretty big and looks, you're so happy now.
It looks better already. It was so, We've talked and talked and talked
Yeah.
about this flower bed. We've already planted some grasses behind you. We've moved some sedums. We've done a few things already, but this one, and that's the thing, right? This was a new flower bed last year, so we didn't really know how we were even going to use this space, where we were going to sit.
Oops.
So, yeah.
So I actually got the spot ready here, and it's pretty sandy. So I definitely, these ones are wet now, but I definitely have to make sure that normally when I make a hole and it's super dry, it's not good to do midsummer. Really better to wait in about in autumn and place it in and then add some water. But this one is soaking wet. You can't really, you can see the soil is really dark actually. So, and it's gonna come nicely back. If it's, because it's been growing in a pot like this, you can see the roots kind of just curled around. So what you can do, you can loosen the bottom a little bit, just a little bit here around, and then it'll really get more air and get better, stronger roots. It searches out instead of continuing just rolling around like it was in the pot. So just like that, I'm just gonna put in to see where. And then since I cut it down, it looks really low now, but imagine 50, 60 centimeters, gonna be really nice and next to the lavender and the butterfly bush. I think that's gonna be pretty because they're still, it turned out to be like a bush actually. I'm gonna, and when I take it out now, it's pretty easy, but if you have something in a pot, loosen it, give it a little pinch here, a little hug on the side, then it's easier getting out. Ta-da! So we actually added them in. I'm just gonna top it with some rich soil here, just around to give them a good start. And then of course keep an eye on it. It's gonna be great thing about also doing this when you see the weather. Keep an eye on that, and it's gonna rain the next few days, which is perfect for new replaced perennials.
And if it didn't, we would just be watering them in. But
Yeah.
I just wanted to mention, several of you guys have sent us some really funny names of plants in English, because we have some quite funny names in Danish as well. So this plant, for example, is called Sneezeweed. I think that's right, Sneezeweed in English, and in Danish it's called sunrise or sunbreak.
Yeah.
Isn't that beautiful?
Solbrød.
I wonder where Sneezeweed came from. I have to Wikipedia that. But this is looking really nice, Lars.
And can you imagine, like here, see the flower? Gonna be tall. Great contrast to all the purple.
It'll be really nice with some color here.
Excellent.
That's one thing that like we showed in our last garden tour, the Astrantia, they've come back after we cut them down. So that's really great. But otherwise, there's not much color going on over here in this corner.
No, just further down there's more. So that's gonna be really pretty there.
Great choice.
Good. Let's do the next one.
Okay, the next area we're going to work on is right back here in the corner with this beautiful sedum. We actually just put him in. He came from this section here. And what was there? Lupins? What did we have there earlier?
I think we just had too many of the sedums because we have a big clump there, and most of it is just actually from cuttings and division. So now we're gonna actually do some rearranging in this one. So this clump that we actually moved is gonna move again, but it's gonna go in front of the house because we have we actually planted in front of the house together with 13 other neighbors. We talked to the, how do you say, the government?
Yeah, we talked with the city planner.
Yeah.
And they gave us permission to remove some. We've told this story 1,000 times.
Yeah, we did.
Sorry, y'all, if we keep boring you. But basically, out in front, we forget to water. Neighbors forget to water. It's just not really ideal growing conditions because a lot of sand under the pavers. What we have found, lavender, sedum, blanket flowers, these things work a lot better because they're a bit more drought tolerant, and you can kind of forget and leave them. So if we could give some sedum to some of our neighbors, even better. So that's where this guy is going to go.
So I'm gonna do a little shake again. Oh man, he's good roots already. But he's really good at giving some color now, and he's just like,
And we had just moved it June, I think.
Yeah.
Because we got tired of this flower bed already once. So now we moved it.
But compared to the other one that we bought from this, they're cheap from the store that we saved. This one we actually did not cut back because normally I do when I move perennials and it's coming in flower, I cut it back. But some of them will do fine. I also had some other ones I moved in flower. but then you have to keep them watered. This one did well. So what we're actually going to do next is that we're going to take this one, the höst anemone. We have a pretty white one here to make a little space and give color. Now this höst anemone here will actually move over to where the sedum was. So let's see if I can get this one. It is pretty dry here. Okay, so we got it up here, and now I'm gonna make a little hole, and definitely this one I have to water because it's dry here. So just loosen the soil. Very sandy here.
You may hit a stone under there.
Yeah, actually. So
This is an
place
old...
it down here.
This, where we are, was an old farmhouse. Well, everything was farmed back in the day, but it's 100 years old, this particular house, and this area was all farm and farmhouses back when this little city was established in 1605. Isn't that crazy?
Okay, while you just chat, I'm just picking, because it's a good idea, while you... I'm just pulling the water hose behind the scenes. It's a good idea when it's dry and you move things, it's a good idea to add water right away in the hole. Not on full, maybe on the shower head, but add some water in the hole with the perennial in the roots and let it soak a little bit. You could also put it in actually in a bucket of water so it really soaks up some water before you add soil around. So let it soak really in, add some soil around. It will go pretty fast here. And then afterwards, then the next few days, really keep an eye on it, keep it watered. Give it a little pinch down there. And then add some more water the next few days. I hope there'll come some water from above. There we go. Good new spots.
Okay, so now we have a hole.
Yes.
But what are we going to do with the hole, Lars? We're not going to leave it empty. No way. You found yet another plant this morning.
Right?
Long story short, we went to the hardware
Hardware
store
yeah.
of all places because I needed a moss pole for my, basically a moss pole for my Monstera indoors. And, yep, we found something else.
The great thing about, I'm pretty sure you have the same feeling. You go to a place you didn't even expect that you had, like, a plant that you've actually been looking for a few months, sometimes years, and you're like, and then it just pops up. It kind of just screams.
So was this one you were looking for years or for months?
Actually years.
Oh,
but
lies.
it's kind of a, it is true. We have it, I've seen it at work and it flowers really late. It starts now, which is really great. It's kind of a half bush, in Danish called blåskæg. Really pretty. And yeah, I needed to have it because I've looked for it a long time. It's very dry in the pot, so it definitely needs some water. Kind of haven't checked out the roots, pretty strong. But since this, also this quite new established flower bed, we want to place it in here and just look at the color. And the foliage also, it's really dark green, which I like.
And a little shiny too.
Yeah. So it's actually going to go in where the höst anemone was. I'm going to loosen the roots a little bit and really give it some water in the hole as well and the next few days. And it's kind of a little bush.
It's really dry. If we had left it at the shop for a week, I bet it would have been half price.
Yeah.
Because it's about to, it would have died, poor thing.
Yeah.
So I guess technically you rescued it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I saw your side.
Okay, so this one is in. I'm adding a little water to that one. Oh, it's thirsty. So while it drinks a little bit, okay, I'll do that. Actually, I can let it get a little bit more. There we go. I just quickly want to also mention we have a really great soil. We add on really rich. It's wood fibers and also compost like chicken manure.
Chicken manure. Yeah.
Yes. Really not too strong, but it has been it's been sitting for a long time before it comes to the garden, so it's really safe to use. It doesn't burn the...
And there's no peat moss.
No, which is really great. So it's all Danish, a Danish company that I work with, which I really like and enjoy. So I'm just using that one just for planting.
And you can even trace, if I can say, we've seen their operations, you can even trace where the chicken manure comes from.
Yeah.
And they can trace what the chickens have eaten. And so it's really nice to be as local as possible.
Yeah. There we go. And I use all that soil. I use it for sowing in and just also for the pots. It's like all-round soil.
That does look a lot better, you know.
Right. Normally I don't. Now there's no rich sun, because if the sun is strong, I have to remember. Actually, it's a good idea to do down on the base, because you could burn the foliage.
When you water, yeah.
When you water on the top. So actually just under. But today is the sun. It's late, so it's cloudy. It's okay. There we go. And just imagine how this is gonna give so much color. And I bet Alan, in just a few weeks, he's like, oh, so many insects in it, and just have a really fluffy, really pretty flower. Actually, this.
I like it already.
Yeah,
You know,
Bluebeard, translated.
Yeah, the name of the plant translates as Bluebeard.
Yeah.
Yeah. But look at this, everything's looking better.
Yeah.
And the rosemary going away, that makes a difference too.
Yeah. So I just wanted to show, like, the sedum we then dug up, it can actually be divided in many more clumps. And what great thing about dividing when you have them up anyway, but in general also a lot of perennials, they do good of division, because that'll make the plant stronger. Some of them have been grown really tight. So it's actually really good for it to be divided either with a spade, shovel, or whatever. You have a knife. So what I do, I have a good clump here. So I actually just go right down, kind of, you can also maybe pull it apart since it's not an old one. But I just kind of go in the middle, kind of try and pull it apart. And don't worry about if something breaks off, because it has very strong roots.
Or that ripping sound.
Yeah.
That's okay, you can't avoid it.
No. So actually here we have, and you could then just actually, I need the shears and cut it back, because all this pulling apart will also mess with the flower. This one is actually pretty easy, but here we have one group of already, and you can see down here where it grew, there's actually coming more side shoots. Actually a little sedum there on the side, so you can easily, and if you would go ahead and plant this out, I would trim this back, and this one I wouldn't toss away. I'll remove the top flower and then the foliage here, and then add it either in soil but also in water by a cutting, and then this one will root. We have already a bunch in the greenhouse from sedum, super easy, and in that way you can easily divide this clump into like 3 or 4 clumps into having them out there, so they also get repeated throughout the flower bed in front of the houses down on our street. So that'll be really pretty.
Exactly, because we're trying to make it easy for the neighbors, because we love the fact that everybody wanted to participate in this little initiative from the city, but plants are really expensive. So if we have something, and if the neighbors have something, and everybody's kind of donating and working, and so it's been a really good, hyggelig little, cozy little project. Yeah. But yeah,
you're so Danish saying hyggelig.
It's a wonderful
cozy.
word. But if we can share some of this, it'll be really nice, especially for this time of year, you know, when it's about to flower and insects will love it.
So this clump actually turned into, or this group actually to, I would say, 3 new areas.
Great, plus the tops that we can.
Yeah.
So obviously it was a very successful day at the hardware store. Lars brought home yet another plant. But yeah, this I'll go ahead and say, Lars, you've wanted this one for a long time. This I know.
Thank you. And just because solely for the tails, it's actually called tiny tails. It's a fountain grass, and with the dark foliage, I love it. The thing is, I have some digitalis here that for sure won't flower this year, and it was just some that had self-sown, some baby ones in this new area with all these pots and the greenhouse. And this can be from full sun to half shade, and it's going to be really, can you just see, really pretty here, and going to be very compact, not too tall, this, and it will really add some contrast to the green foliage here, because most of them are perennial. Some of them we have some dahlias, but otherwise some of them are already finished. So it's really great at having contrast in also when you look into the foliage when you plant.
And we're putting it here in the pots. We've had this before, but you have to bring it in every year. And the one year that we didn't is the year that it died. And that was, several years ago, even before we were sharing our garden with you guys on YouTube. So we've been looking for it for, 4 years. I mean, it's not hard to find it. We just haven't wanted to spend money for 4 years. So.
And also because it's one, I love, the ones that's hardy, the perennials. So this one, definitely, that's why I want to have it in a pot, so I can take it in and save it definitely before the frost comes, because I do like them, but it's also a kind of a waste if you forget about it, and then, yeah, which I did, and then it kind of died. So I hope I can remember, otherwise now it's Alan's job to remind me to get it in. I'll just get these digitalis, pull them up and put them out. I won't toss them, I'm planting them at the fence, so they for sure will, because they produced that, they were tiny when I put it in. They definitely grew bigger, and they will flower next year because that's a biennial, so they have the foliage first, and then next year the tower will come more flowers. So I'm just loosening this up. See if I have a space for it here.
Maybe that pot was smaller than I thought.
Actually, I need to have more out here. Give me a second, please. So now I'm just giving little pins on the side, and then it'll come out. Ooh, and look at those roots. That's a strong, healthy, tiny tails.
Tiny tails.
So I'm gonna, like I did the other ones from pots, because it's really grown for a long time. You can see that. So it's just screaming, if you can hear it. Oh, thank you. Or maybe ouch, I don't know which one.
Probably ouch. If money was pinching your bottom like that, I think you'd scream too.
Yeah. Okay, and then we've added some compost in earlier on, so we're actually just gonna reuse that one because it's still really strong.
Yeah, there was compost in the pot,
Yeah,
that we just put into this bucket,
yeah.
and now put back into the pot.
Totally reuse, that's good. Oh, there's even eggshells in here. Okay,
Yeah, we're not the best at composting, so you may find a whole coffee filter in there. It is really pretty. That looks nice. It'll be nice
Alright.
here on the side.
just wait until I move it back in. Now it's like in the middle of the, okay.
While you do that, I'm going to pull back and show
What are you
the
showing?
Salvia viridi. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? That's called Pink Sunday, and the blue is
Oxford blue.
Oxford blue, right? Yeah,
Yes.
really nice.
Let me just remove that. That doesn't look so pretty. Ta-da, before and after. Clean it.
We're not those kind of YouTubers. but-
Like a swipe, and then it's all pretty. Anyway, let's see, maybe around here, so it still pokes out a little bit. How does that look? Is it too far?
It really pokes out.
I can move it in.
Where was it?
Maybe, yeah, it was there. That's better.
That's better.
Okay, but look at that. Ah, that's nice.
Let me see. And then walk by. We'll get an action shot.
And then like, you just really want to feel like they, but so pretty with a different foliage there.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Anything else that you bought that I didn't know about? I was in
no.
the same car. Surely that's it, right?
I do want to have a new car, but that's a different day to discuss
Yeah, that's not just coming back from the hardware store. No.
Oh, and the sun is back. But yeah, I'll add some water into that and keep an eye on that. But otherwise, definitely more the time now we can, if we look around, I'm pretty sure there's going to be other days we can divide some other things we need to move around.
Not only dividing, we're also looking at moving some things.
That's true.
But that we're going to wait officially until...
The big reveal.
Yeah, right now it's the beginning of September.
Yeah.
But we need to wait, what you think, end of September, then we're pretty sure that
Yeah.
any heat and anything, any this dry weather is kind of over.
And we
So-
want the soil to be really wet and still warm, and then we're going to do some more projects.
We'll be sure to bring you along for that. Some of the highlights will be there's some random grasses in here that have got to go.
Yeah. Because we have them in a bigger group down there, so we definitely have some, and also, yeah, some other things.
And
we
also,
wanna-
now that you can see, well, maybe you can't see, that you were just squinting, when the sun hits that greenhouse, it hits this panicle hydrangea right over there
Yeah.
and has just scalded it. What's the word? It
The-
has burned
yeah.
it to death.
Yeah, the vanilla phrase over there.
Yeah, we added that in last year when we got rid of some butterfly bushes. The one in the back you can't see it, I'll show you another day, but it's done really well.
It's a limelight.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that one, my goodness, because when the sun hits off that glass and jeepers.
But we actually have some plants. We are discussing maybe a little bit of a tree, but it still has a one stem, not decided yet, but I have one that I really is a favorite. It has white flowers, is Corea Cornell. I'll make sure to write it in what it's, but that will be pretty and has autumn colors and will be nicer there because it's too much sun there for the hydrangea. It has to be moved to the one down there. We're going to place them together, and then I add a different one there instead.
Yeah. So, but we'll do that
Yeah.
towards the end of September, and after we discuss what actually goes there.
And then we have some other perennials, because we do plant very close, that needs to be moved a little bit. We have some geraniums we really discussed forth and back that kind of taken over quite a lot, and we're gonna dig some of them up and remove some that's too close, because in the spring I'm like, oh, there's a spot of soil and I plant something, and I forget that it grows up and becomes really big. But then the plus is, on the upside, I don't have to do any weeding. I do it twice in the spring, and then I can just...
Yeah, but spoiler alert, all those geraniums are going to go.
Some of them.
Stay tuned, because,
See.
okay, now we're getting in it. We have a very small space, and a geranium.
Yeah, we have this one, the Hollywood here. It kind of just grows into, Okay, we started the discussion. But we have some geraniums that really, and the Roseanne, needs to find, it really spreads just in one season, so we need to see which one stays and which one goes.
Which ones
yes.
go?
But if you will stay, I'll vote yes for that. Anyway, that's a different day.
Yeah.
But the sun is back, and we got things done.
Before we let you go, I want to give you a little update on the baby quails. We'll step in there.
Oh, okay.
And then we'll do that real quick.
Wow, that's a first. So they're actually 9 days, and they grow so fast. They have tiny, tiny wings, and they're quite tame actually now. So I can touch the chicks, and I made him into a little circus boy. The dad here, I have see if I can get him to come. He actually jumps up. See if he can see. Oh, and he got a spider. And then he calls for the babies, and they run. They run away with it. There we go, and then they ate it, and then they come again. Sorry, I only have one snack today. But they're very, very cute. And really enjoy the heat, and even in winter they stay here. Not just the parents though. They're very cute.
And a little update on our cuttings. They're all doing well.
Yes. Oh, I actually wanted to show you one here. The Advena Perennials. We also have the Bampton, which is a perennial. This is actually a summer flower here in Denmark, but because the winter is so mild, they come again, but you can never get enough of those. The thing is, it takes between, I'm just looking down so I don't step on the quails.
No sudden movement.
But already this is one of the fast plants. Between 7 to 14 days, then they start to root. And the thing you look for when you want to see if they rooted, you can also have a bag over the first few days, or weeks actually. But here there's new growth in this one, that's a fresh one. And another thing you can see is, that there's white roots coming out. And what I do with this one, I took some of the fresh cutting, not with the flower in, but kind of the side shoots. I leave it in the greenhouse. Over winter it kind of just will go to sleep over winter, so I barely water it, so you don't want to overwater, then it rots. But then in the spring I'll plant it out. If you don't have a greenhouse, you can also have it somewhere sheltered in the garden, or if you have a porch, not too heated, it can stay there too. So kind of you want it to fall asleep in the winter. I just want to shake it and see how it's just falling out here. But here you can see the roots. I'm going to put it in a bigger in a bigger pot anyway, but you can really see how it rooted. So it goes in a much bigger one, so it has more space. So it's doing well. And as I mentioned, just going to find it, the sedum really does well in water. Just look at the roots here. Here.
Yeah, that needs to get in the pot. Ooh.
So that's actually ready. Did well. What I did, at least once a week, I changed the water. That's the thing with propagation in water. You need to change that quite often so it doesn't rot. But otherwise you can also do it in soil. I still have some bags over the first few weeks, and then I take it off. But it really helps on all the cuttings, hydrangea, lavender. We have a bunch of different ones. And also I started sowing here, and it's September. It's a great way to sow autumn sow. So I have some Judas ping here. Look at those. They will be all, doesn't look like all. The stem here is really purple. The foliage will be all black. Don't move, Alan, you have a quail. The foliage will be like digitalis is a biannual, so the foliage is all black, But I sow it now because and then in early spring next year, they will come with this violet pink flower and then make beautiful decorative seed pods actually. So I sow them now and together with a lot of other perennials. And then I have a bunch of small plants that I take for plant market because I have an open garden when people come because I have no more space in my own garden. But yeah, things are doing well. Okay, so that was all the dividing and moving the perennials for today and having the update on the quails. So now I'll find a spot for these digitalis behind. But thank you so much for watching. Moin.